Last week, we received disturbing news that police in Texas legally accessed data from automatic license plate readers used throughout Illinois. They did so to track down a woman regarding an abortion care-related matter.
Illinois leaders say a sheriff's office near Dallas tapped into more than 83,000 license plate readers nationwide, looking for a woman they say had a self-administered abortion in Texas. The Johnson County Sheriff told an independent outlet that this was a safety issue and the woman was being searched for as a missing person, not as a suspect of a crime.
So today's headline, a Texas deputy searched 83,000 cameras nationwide with one type reason. In Johnson County, there's this Texas deputy who used the Flock Safety's nationwide license plate camera network to search. And the reason they did the search, which is logged, is had an abortion, search for a female. No warrant required. Flock disputes parts of this reporting. And, I always want to give you accurate reporting. I don't want to give you unsubstantiated information, but I can tell you there's a lot of smoke. And when there's smoke, what the question is for today, though, is how many cameras can track you before a warrant's required? And more importantly, how does AI make this situation far worse than it already is? And then you're probably asking, well, what do I care about what's happening in somewhere in Texas, in some small town? You have to care because this is a surveillance network that's being used by law enforcement, and it absolutely one day could be used to surveil you and compromise your rights. So what is Flock? I always like to kind of give you some insight into the technology. Well, basically, Flock Safety used to be these license plate readers, these cameras that were license plate readers. Well, today, they have evolved into something totally different. They call themselves AI-powered precision policing technology. And that's accurate. That's pretty accurate because AI is running at every layer. There are over 5,000 police departments using it. Of those 5,000, 75% are doing something called reciprocal sharing, which means they're feeding a national pool that's searchable through this tool called National Lookup. And so as far as the reader and the camera, it's physically just a small gray box on a pole with its own solar power, no wiring, no utility bill, just cellular data, just like your phone. This is why it's spreading so fast across America, over 5,000 cities. When a car passes, the onboard computer reader, the computer vision reads the plate into text. Then a separate AI model kicks off, and it does what's called a Flock vehicle fingerprint. It creates a description and captures information about the bumper, the dents, the roof, the color, the type of car. But now you have a description, right? Not a license plate. And so AI has this capability called convoy analysis. What it is when machine learning flags vehicles through a certain period of time that are consistently near each other. Flock says, hey, we can use this to be able to identify the associates of the terrorists or the criminals. But think about what that actually means. You have a system not just describing a car anymore or your car, it's guessing who you know. Now imagine that if someone wanted to know, okay, who are all if I have a person from a particular political party or religious belief, and I want to identify other people that share those beliefs, this is a technology that could be used in surveillance for that. Now let me tell you the smoke. Well, on May 9, 2025, the deputy in Johnson County Sheriff's Office ran a nationwide Flock search. That's well documented. Media has confirmed the search terms were had an abortion, search for female, no warrant required. They searched cameras in Washington and Illinois. These are states that support abortion and allow abortion rights. These states have nothing to do or any connection to this Texas case. And the deputies say, well, no, we were just doing a wellness check. But records show they actually started a death investigation and started talking to local prosecutors. That is on the record. So when I say there's smoke, there seems to be some evidence that they were using this tool to identify a woman who may have gone across state borders to get an abortion. Now let's talk a little more technical. What happens to all this data? Well, the data is encrypted by Flock. It's sent up to AWS. There is a government compliance cloud region that houses all this data, and the people that can access it are said to have the correct roles. But here's the problem. Everything I just described is a policy. Anybody who's done policy knows the key is to enforce it. So in practice, in the Texas case, the deputy has a reason to search. He runs a search. He does it within the rules on the right topics, but no one can audit him until after the fact. And a Spokane County deputy literally told someone, hey, we've never had to discipline a single officer for misuse. But on paper, this is a controlled system. But in practice, it's an honor system. You have officers who can use the surveillance tool however they feel like it. And the only check and balance is the officer deciding he's going to do the right thing. So you have this camera that's sitting in over 5,000 cities, churches, apartment complexes, clinics, gathering data and being accessed. And so what does this mean for you? AI is able to take this system that just used to record where your car has been, and now AI can make it a system that can guess who you know and what your affiliations might be. And when you think about a surveillance state, that is a very powerful tool. Every time we do a discussion, we talk about today's question and what it means for you, I always try to connect what's happening in the real world to how it impacts your life. And so in this instance, how does AI actually make everything a million times worse? It's simple. It turns a system that is used just to record where your car went to infer who you know, what your affiliations are, and more importantly, it doesn't have to prove it. And this is the bottom line. The system doesn't just track your license plate. It's built to infer your relationships based on where your car shows up or which cars show up near yours. Imagine you live in a bad neighborhood. I hate that word, but it could be a neighborhood that has some poverty. So there may be people who have cars that may be under difficult circumstances. The system, if your car keeps showing up by theirs, the system could label you or target you or infer that you're associated with people that may not be doing things honestly. This is a big problem. And so whatever you think about the abortion case, the thing I want you to think about from a technology standpoint, the inference runs on AI trained models to flag patterns, not facts. AI flags patterns, not facts in this case. And these inferences could dramatically have impact on people's lives, especially if law enforcement uses them to make decisions about you. So right now, be clear, there's this massive surveillance network. It's not just tracking your car, it's tracking your relationships. So I want to transition now to the good part. We have built a community of people, of experts. Their sole purpose is to help you understand things like we talked about today. They are very passionate people. The community's free. You can get a free membership. You can be a part of something where people are not just sitting back, uninformed, not knowing what's going on, and not knowing what's coming. Because knowledge is how we prepare ourselves to be protected, maintain our privacy in this digital world. My name is Frank Satterwhite. Go to yoursai.ai, get a free membership. We'll welcome you with open arms and spread the news. If you like today's segment, please subscribe, and a like always helps. Until next time, thank you and take care of yourself.